Welcome back, everyone, and thanks so much for watching out here. Actually enjoying the evening out here at the property, and wanted to kind of chat about where we bought our container cabin from and kind of the steps we went through to get in and kind of why we went this way, because we didn't go the normal route as a lot of people go. So I think I mentioned in one of my earlier videos, but when we were searching for cabins, we looked at everything. We looked at modular cabins, we looked at shed ideas, we looked at shipping containers like we ended up getting. And we kept going to a lot of places that specialize in cabins, which I think, duh, that kind of makes sense. But what we learned is we didn't want something that was completely just finished all the way end to end, because we didn't even know how we were going to power this place. We were kind of using it as more of a glorified, fancier camping or glamping, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the right term is. But we didn't want something that was just bare. I didn't want to just get an empty shipping container. I wanted something that we could kind of hit the ground running with. So what happened is our search ended up leading us to a place called Genco Sales. I'll put a link in the description below so you guys can know where we got it from. They are out of Noonan, Georgia, and I don't know how far they service, how far they'll ship stuff. I mean, they probably can ship it pretty far, because all you got to do is throw it on a flatbed if it's 20 foot, or of course if it's a 40 foot, you pull it like any other container. But one thing to learn is that this place is not really, they don't specialize in shipping container cabins or tiny houses. They really, if you ever drive around and you go by a job site and you see an office out there, a lot of times they will be shipping containers. So they specialize in stuff like that. They can make stuff for small businesses if you have something set up like on a sidewalk type setup. And then, of course, they can build what they call hunting cabin, is what this is. Of course, we use it for much more than that. But the key to us with them was they could get it built basically as an empty shell, and then we kind of take it from there. So that allowed us to kind of start using it a little bit and enjoying it, even though it was basically an empty, well, not square, but empty rectangle. And none of this top deck that we're on now was built, but it allowed us to use it while we kind of built as we go. So for us, that actually worked perfect, because we didn't know what all we were going to do out here. Had I known we were going to have power ran, I might have done things a little different, but we just didn't know. So when we got the cabin, when we met with them, all we wanted was just the basic stuff done inside. So you have, instead of just having I think these shipping, I don't even know, these shipping containers, I think come with like a wood floor on the inside. All they did was like a laminate type. If you go look at the interior, watch the interior video of the cabin, you'll see it. But it's like a laminate floor. And then for walls, they are 2x4 walls, but the 2x4s aren't coming out, perpendicular to the side. They're flush like that. So what you get is you get less insulation, because you've only got the thickness of a 2x4, which is really like what, an inch and a half, an inch and 3/4. But you gain space, so you're not spacing out that much. And then all it is just siding on top of that. And then the wiring was ran. It was ran very crudely, but it was ran, which is fine. It's what I asked for. And it's ran in conduit along the walls on the inside. And then, of course, we got the air conditioner, which you might hear it coming on and off here. But that's kind of what we wanted. And, of course, the window. So it's livable. You can get in it. If you can get some type of power, you've got your air conditioning. And from there, we just started kind of adding stuff, the basics. So what that allowed us to do is to get that cabin here, get it done. We're able to buy it with cash, get it delivered out here. And then that way we just kind of deal with it as we go. So total all in, and this was actually in 2020. So everybody's favorite shutdown time. But in 2020, we had this one built, and this is with the air conditioner in, all the electrical, all the walls done, the window, everything you see basically, except for the deck built on the top and the front. I think we were just short of $15,000, and that's delivered. Now, I've actually looked online at some other places that deal in cabins like that, and I've actually seen stuff cheaper. So, there may even be some better deals out there, just full transparency. But check these places out, check out what they can do. If you're really looking for something and you can have it delivered, to your spot and everything, it might be something worthwhile to look at. And if you're a pretty handy person, you can be using it as you go. So some other things that we would like to add to this that we've thought of now that we're a little more permanent out here. We do plan to have a house, but we don't know yet what we're going to do with this cabin. If we're going to like maybe rent it out or whatever we're going to do. But we've already talked about ways to do storage water tanks underneath it, as well as we could collect water from the roof, and then find out ways to run some water up into it if you get enough water pressure. So water is something we have thought about. Of course, that's going to require me drilling a hole in my cabin. So I want to make sure that my plan's obviously good before I do that, because can't really get do-overs. I guess you could weld it shut if it's on the outside and so forth. But those are some of the plans that we plan to do. They also make outdoor showers. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want that. But it would be nice to have an outdoor shower that you could heat, which we could heat out here. And it would definitely make a difference, especially on a, as you can see behind me, it's summer. On a July day like today, it would actually come in handy. So there's things you can do kind of temporarily, excuse me, until you get the rest of your plan set up. The last point is just location and delivery. So that's one thing to think about. So this cabin that I'm on right now is only a 20-foot, but you don't site build it. So the one problem, the one drawback with something like this is it's going to have to be delivered. So you have to have a road cut, you have to have a space cut to be able to get to it. For us, you've probably seen the pictures of our road on some of the shorts and so forth. The road obviously goes up that way. But for us, this site was already there. Had we wanted to put it deeper in the woods somewhere, the problem with that is getting it there. There are other options for putting wheels on the side of these. You can look online, but you're still going to need a tractor or something to help at least pull it through the woods. So I'm sure it's possible, but just think of that. You got to be able to have access to actually get it there. Ours was delivered on a flatbed, so all he did was just brought the ramp in here and lowered it right where we wanted it, and then we leveled it out ourselves using a floor jack. So something else to think about there. So that pretty much wraps it up. That's pretty much it. Again, Genco Sales is a good place to go check out. You can also, they also have a good Facebook page with a lot of good pictures. So kind of give you an idea of where to go. You know, you can kind of find a place like that in your area. It wouldn't make sense to ship it necessarily across the country. But go check them out. They're in the description below. And I thank you guys for watching. If there's anything else that I may have missed or you want to add in the comments to correct me on, shoot it in the comments. We can have some more videos to clear that up, or if there's any other questions on it. But I thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll chat with you next time.